everyone, so today I am going to be reviewing a foundation that I got recently, and it is the Guerlain Parure Extreme Foundation, and it's a luminous extreme wear foundation as SPF 25 PA++. It's water resistant and non-transferable. So I personally have a lot of problems with my skin, so I do get a lot of acne, and once that acne goes away, I get a lot of hyperpigmentation. So I prefer a really nice coverage, and I usually go from medium to medium full coverage. I don't tend to like completely full coverage because then I know there hasn't yet been a foundation that I found that looks natural enough in that sort of state. So I like to keep it sort of natural, but you still know, you still feel protected. In this particular foundation, I got the shade 02 Beige Clair, and I have to say that the shade isn't perfect for me. It's a little bit too neutral, so a little pink. I'm not saying like the foundation itself is pink, but for my warmer skin tone in the summertime, it's a little bit too neutral, and I could go for a more yellow toned one. The bad thing about this foundation is that its line carries like a very limited shade range, so you can't really find a perfect shade, and you usually have to like mix or try a different foundation. So about this foundation, it is a liquid foundation. I will show you the packaging now. It is a quite expensive foundation. I'm not sure of the price off the top of my head, but it has very luxurious packaging. It comes with a pump top, and I already applied this foundation, and this is after I've done the rest of my makeup, and you'll see a demo in a second. But I do have to say I quite like it. Other than the fact that the shade isn't perfect, I think once the winter time comes and my tan, or the summertime glow or whatever goes away, this shade will be perfect for my skin tone, especially since it is a teensy bit pale for me. But this has a great coverage that I do like. It's got that sort of medium coverage. It's slightly buildable, though I don't think it's the type of foundation that you can build up all the way till full coverage. I also have tried it in different ways of application. I've tried it with a brush, and then the demo I've shown you two ways, with my hands and with the Beauty Blender sponge, which is a sponge that I wet, so they'll give different effects. I did not show you the one with the brush, the application with the brush, because I just didn't like the brush application. The brush that I used was this one. This is the Sephora Airbrush 55, and it's a really popular one. I really like this with most of my other foundations, but with this one it just didn't work. With a brush, it just ended up getting a little too heavy, too cakey, and I could definitely feel it on my skin, and I don't know, it just didn't feel very good with the brush. So I recommend with either a Beauty Blender or with fingers, because those are the ways that I prefer this foundation. With fingers, you'll see in the tutorial, it's not hard to blend. It's pretty fast. It just really blends in well, and I don't know, it's just it feels good to apply it. And then with the Beauty Blender, it'll give you a slightly more sheer coverage just because the sponge is wet. But I still really like the coverage that it gives me, and it just feels much lighter that way. This foundation definitely does have a little bit of a fragrance that definitely goes away. It'll go away within a couple of minutes after application. In terms of wear, this foundation, I must say, is one of my better wearing foundations. I wore this when I took a walk with my dog, an hour-long walk, which is a very long walk with my dog. And it was a really sunny day. I think it was about 90 degrees, and I was testing it out basically, and when I came back home, I'm not saying I didn't get sweaty or anything, and I didn't get oily, but the foundation didn't come off and it didn't get all cakey and nasty. A lot of foundations for me tend to kind of separate and just start to sit on top of my skin where I have laugh lines, and it's not a huge problem for me, but this did it less. I'm not saying it didn't do it all, but it did it less. And I did get oily, but it didn't move on the rest of my face, so it stayed on, and after I blotted it still didn't move and all that stuff. So I definitely recommend this for anyone who wants a long wear foundation. Now, in terms of the finish of the foundation, it says that it is a luminous foundation. I wouldn't say it's a dewy foundation. It's definitely, I would call, a little more dewy than a semi-matte foundation. Like kind of like a satin, but not totally satin. Like in certain areas of your skin it's going to look more dewy than others, just because certain areas are highlighted and others are receded. But I mean, it just looks pretty natural. I have to say, it's other than the fact of the shade not being perfect for me, it pretty much looks really good. Maybe, like, I'm not going to say it doesn't look like I have foundation on, but it doesn't look really cakey. It doesn't look very heavy. It just looks like, you know, your skin's been perfected. Other than that, I don't know what else I am missing, if I am missing anything. But yeah, I'm going to send you right into the demo right now, and you can see how the foundation does change my skin. I'll first warn you that I have really dark under eye circles, and I feel like my camera exaggerates them, and my skin's just been not good. It just is like that. So you can see it's still not perfectly covered because I was like too lazy to cover it all, but I do have acne and hyperpigmentation all around in different areas of my face, so you'll definitely see that and how the foundation fares in covering up that stuff. But other than that, I hope you enjoy the demo, and I'll see you after the video if I remember to say anything else about this foundation. So to be fair with this foundation, I am going to prime my skin because I prime my skin for all of my foundations. I just find that foundation in general applies better on my skin when I have a primer. And actually, usually I would go an extra step and I would apply a sunscreen, but because I'm going to take photographs on my blog to show you how this foundation photographs, I'm not going to use sunscreen, but usually I would. But for the primer, I'm going to be using the one that I've been using with a lot of my foundations recently, just because I've been trying it out, is the Clear Prep FX Matte Foundation Primer and Anti-Acne Treatment Gel. And I think this is from Cover FX, and I just got a little sample of this, so I'm going to first apply this before I apply the foundation. So, like I said before, I'm going to apply this foundation in two different ways. I'm going to use one side of my face with my hands, and then I'm going to use on the other side a sponge, and the sponge I'm using is the Beauty Blender. I'll start with the hand side. It comes with a pump. It's very handy, so I'm just going to take about 3/4 of a pump just because I'm doing half face, and I usually use 1.5 pumps for a full face. So, you know, math and all that. And for hands, I just dot it everywhere, especially where I need more coverage. And then I just blend it in. And I'm looking at a mirror, so. So you obviously can already see a difference, even though I do have to say this side is my more acne prone side at the moment. So I can't just say like it's that much better, but that's that side, just the side with my hand and the Guerlain Parure foundation. Now I'm just going to take another 3/4 of a pump. And for this side, I'm going to use the Beauty Blender, but what I do is I still do dot it onto my face to begin with. So my Beauty Blender has been like wetted, and I kind of took out all the excess water, but now I'm just going to go right in with it and just dab it away. So that is the full face of the Guerlain foundation. All in all, because I did split the face in half, I used about 1.5 pumps. Usually I just do that same amount. Now I'm just going to show you if this foundation is buildable, so I'm just going to take a tiny bit. This is like probably 1/8 of a pump. I don't know. That's like how much concealer I use. And I'm just going to dab it on my blemishes. So that is pretty much it for this foundation demo. I hope you enjoyed it. The Guerlain Parure Extreme is a really nice foundation if you have the money to splurge on it. I would say it's kind of like an older sister and more long-wearing version of the Makeup Forever HD, except I like the Makeup Forever HD coverage and just like the look of it a little bit better, but this is a great foundation. I definitely recommend it for anyone who has a slightly normal to oilier skin type. For dry skin types, I still do recommend it, except I think it would be a little bit of a problem for the areas where you have really dry patches, because this foundation can definitely cling to those areas. But other than that, if you have any requests for anything else, please leave in the comments below. I will leave my blog link in the information box, and I'll also post a couple of pictures of me wearing this foundation in the blog post. But yeah, I will bring back other foundation demos for you guys later, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!